so being 7:07 on September 5th, 2023, opening the Halifax Conservation Commission meeting, President Steve, Ed, myself, Peggy, and just so that this is being recorded by Area 58 and can be viewed on YouTube. Also, since the agenda was advertised, there have been two unscheduled items that we've added. So the board, we just need to vote and approve the agenda presented with the additional items. And so the two additional items were...
They're under other in the last page.
They're under other in the last page, which was the Tower Bank form and
25A Street.
the 25A Street. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to accept the agenda.
You put a motion that we accept the new agenda with the two additional things, A Street and the Town Bank form review received.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. And the first thing on the agenda is 101 Anawan Drive on RDA for repair of a septic system within 100 feet of a bordering vegetative wetlands. And
You actually, I was gonna say, like, you could have used that chair, but... No.
Yeah, I didn't have my easel today, sorry about that. Perfect, thank you very much.
maybe we can invest in an easel.
Yeah. Oh, look.
Hi everyone, I'm Dylan Brady here with Brady Consulting. We represent Realty. The proposed work here at 101 Anawan Drive is just repair a septic system. The existing system is it's on the south side of this property here. After we're proposing to install a 1,500-gallon septic tank, going to a 1,500-gallon pump chamber, pumping up to a Prezi system right here outlined. This blue line represents the existing BW, with the green line here representing the 50-foot wetland buffer and the 100-foot wetland buffer is here. The red line being the limit of work. The biggest note is that all the proposed permanent structures are 4 feet away, with the closest setback being 51.2 feet away from the wetlands. Yeah, with that, any questions you may have about the project, I'm willing to answer.
So it's in the current footprint of the present septic system, or?
So we're putting the tanks, there's just some pits right here,
Yeah.
and the tanks are going right where the pits were.
Is the bottom of the tank going to end up being deeper than the original pit was? Like how deep are we going?
We don't have the elevations for the existing tank, but the looks like the bottom of the tank is approximately going to be about 95 in elevation, so about 6 feet below grade.
Any other concerns, Steve?
No, I mean, the two pits are right here. They're already, I mean, it cuts that line right there is the supply water protection area. I don't know if we want, I don't know what kind of concerns we can bring right there with that being existing, you know?
Yeah. Has to be replaced, has to be replaced.
Right, and it's I mean, obviously pending Board of Health approval, you know?
It's on for tomorrow night, I believe.
Okay. You know, and all the other obvious things, you know, your erosion control where you work and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, the erosion control is also.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yep.
Can I make a motion?
I put a motion that we approve the repair of the septic system at 101 Agnawan Drive.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On the front of the folder is the determination,
Ah, perfect.
if you would sign it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This goes,
How cute. Goes right in.
I know you have to refold it.
I'm just gonna sign that. Oh, you made it nice and pretty. Just put all this in there when this goes in the folder too. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. So next, 705 is 111 River Street, and that one, the request by applicant's representative is going to be continued to September 19th at 7:15 PM. So to make a motion to continue.
I put a motion that we continue 111 River Street for 9/19 and for 7:15 PM.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then the next one is 359 Plymouth Street. It's just a continued hearing for a notice of intent. You here for that?
So I believe you all received a letter earlier today. I'll just reiterate that the continued hearing was based off of the salt shed that was eliminated from the plan. And there were just some notes we wanted to also address regarding 361 Plymouth Street. Prior to any tree removal, the lot lines will be clearly staked to ensure that no trees on the abutting property line are inadvertently removed. These trees are outside the 100-foot buffer zone. And then for drainage concerns, we also wanted to reiterate that by preparing the pre and post development plans, it's evident that there is reduced area on the applicant's property on that runoff towards 361 Plymouth Street. No runoff from the paved areas exits the property towards their property. It guides towards the on-site stormwater system. And the stormwater system has undergone peer review and fully complies with the requirements of stormwater regulations. So there's just about something to address. Continue hearing.
Yeah, and I know that the last meeting, which I did miss, but the thing that was brought up was the salt, and that was the one thing that was really outstanding to discuss. And from what I hear, the salt storage is no longer part of the...
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay,
If
go
they
ahead.
petition later on...
Oh, your name, please?
Phyllis Terrell, 363 Plymouth
Okay,
Street.
thank you.
If they petition later for a salt shed, will the abutters be notified?
If they bring something else before conservation, it always goes, gets advertised before the meetings. But we're declining it now, so I don't see it happening in the future because it's already been declined.
Okay, I do have a second question.
Okay?
Last week, they talked about monitoring wells. Did you put any additional thought into monitoring wells? They're going to be cleaning their vehicles, they're going to be storing landscaping stuff and stuff like that for the wetlands that's going out to, on the my left-hand side of the bog, by Dunkin' Donuts. Is that still under consideration, or is for monitoring wells put in for there?
Is that something that was discussed?
We discussed having that when they were talking about having the salt on the property, having monitoring wells for that purpose.
But without the salt and the...
Yeah, we hadn't really, I hadn't personally given it a lot of thought, given if they were gonna go ahead and say no salt, because I was gonna say no if there was gonna be any salt at all.
But that's...
No, she's talking about the cleaning of the
Right, so
trucks.
that's like, I didn't even consider that in the monitoring well discussion. I was mainly concerned with rain and runoff of the salt being stored there. So, I mean, I don't know, what do you guys think? If they're gonna be cleaning vehicles there in the parking lot, which I'm not sure, I mean,
And they're going to be storing fertilizers and different stuff like that. I'm sure insecticides and all that stuff. Would that be enough to put in the monitoring wells for the water?
what are you storing outside? What's gonna be stored in the outside area?
It's on the plan.
I don't have it in front of me.
I didn't have it. Share the plan.
I don't have the original plan in front of me.
A quick question, just for the board here.
Yeah,
With the stormwater management, would that fall under that?
That would
I know they
fall-
have to,
that would follow the stormwater management.
what,
wouldn't
is it part of the stormwater
I
management when they
believe
apply
that's
for it?
what Gabriel said at the last meeting. Just not positive, but
I know it's about cleaning, making sure the no overgrown stuff goes into the runoff.
I believe it would be part of the stormwater management. I'm just not positive.
Go ahead.
Oh, go right ahead,
Oh,
sir.
go ahead.
Yes, we're gonna storage loam, mulch, and gravel. We're gonna do fertilizer. We
Okay, thank
talked about
you.
that before, so.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much for, that's a big,
Okay. Yeah. Were there any other questions? Yes?
Warren Delay, 361. My question is, like the natural present right now, that I have like in my front yard, the proposed design is going to, raise the new property up about 5 or 6 feet, that would be above the street level, so my front yard's probably going to be about 5 or 6 feet below what their grade's going to be. So that's what my concern is as far as like trapped water is concerned.
runoff water to your property?
Well, not so much that, just even trapped water, like it's going to be,
What happens to the water on your property now?
right now, the way the way the water runs, it just kind of like grades off all in that area, like basically into their property and into the backyard. So now when this whole yard gets, so my question is that going to be my responsibility then for handling that water situation? Or is that something that can be direct, looked into beforehand?
Do you foresee any problems with the,
Running from his property onto yours or not running onto yours now that
Right, so
the
our
elevation?
stormwater calculations actually have less runoff going to your property than existing. And any existing runoff that goes...
Because from a different property is,
Right, yeah, any existing, runoff we can't improve on without going under your property. So we've reduced the amount of runoff going to your property from our stormwater calculations.
My
As much
question is, I understand that, but like the water that's running off now, and I understand it runs off into like that, where our property line meets there. So if that becomes an issue with trapped water, does that become my responsibility to handle that? The runoff water there?
I don't think it, I'm not sure. I don't think it would be
Well, I just
yours.
foresee a problem. I've had a couple people take a look at it, and they said there's going to be some water issues there, just because, again, if you look at the plan, then you'll notice like,
But there are no water issues now. Is that what you're saying? You're anticipating water issues? Is that
because the
it?
elevation of his land where he used to run off, it's going to stop running off, so.
right.
Where it's going to stop running off, is that part of your property though? Or is it his property?
To be honest, I'm not really quite sure.
Because if it's, I would guess if it's your property, it's your
It's your
responsibility.
responsibility, yeah.
But if he's changed, like if it's right on the same border, if they can maybe control it and have it run off.
That's what I'm asking, if there's maybe a way to address it beforehand.
It is I guess it looks like there's berms here. Is it his property over here?
Burns there.
Your property is to the left,
Correct.
looking at it. So it looks like they have a berm. Is that correct?
Yes, we have the berm,
Right on the corner of the property.
and then we have stone right here.
Oh, so the stone's going along
So that
the line
should,
of the property, so what, the water, if it naturally went that way, will go to the stone and most
should
likely run off,
there. Yeah.
if it's done properly, yeah.
I mean, Grady Consulting, are you gonna stand by this letter? Like, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but if you were to swear to it under pains and penalties of perjury, this last line that says runoff from the property cannot increase in the post-development conditions,
Yeah, according to our stormwater calculations.
what happens if it does? What happens if your calculations are wrong and now his property's flooded out at post-development?
We've been peer reviewed. That's, we've gone through.
I know, I mean, just what if? What if there's a mistake's been made, or what if they're just plain wrong and now his property's flooded?
Well, you hope that they're not wrong, and that the peer review is correct, and
Right.
that we've done our due diligence.
That's why you do peer review.
Yes, no, I understand that. I just, what happens to the,
I can answer that. There is an emissions policy from the person who drafted up the plans. Sure. They do it incorrectly. They find later that their plans were deemed incorrectly.
Yeah, they have to correct it, right?
So that's probably what they mean by guaranteeing
Okay.
certificates of insurance.
All right.
Just
yeah, no, I mean, that's
Insurance and.
just asking, as a property owner, I'd want to know that too. Like, what happens if,
That's what you do. You get proof that they have insurance.
Yeah.
So that if it does fail,
okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions, concerns on this one?
Yeah, my last question was the tree line there. I know that they won't be, interrupting the trees on my property, but where they're building the property up, I know at one of the meetings, the planning board meeting actually, one of the guys that works here for said that they would put tree wells in there, but there's nothing stated on the plans of that.
Put what up there?
Tree wells.
Yeah, see, so, where he's got it. Those are the pictures you sent in?
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that pictures of?
Those trees are on
property?
yours, and that fence that looks there is their construction? You've got this.
Or are these pictures from
That's
Plimpton?
actually not the property.
That's Plimpton?
That's the other one.
Correct, yes, that's the
If I have the one
So
you
we were
sent in.
showing examples.
But I just want to try to prevent that actually, so.
Okay.
Again, they did mention that if there was a tree that was going to get, in so many words, like buried or, covered.
Yeah.
When they bring in the fill, they would put some tree wells in there, so. But there's nothing shown on the plans, and like you had mentioned, if there's something that could be in writing that says that, that'd be appreciated.
Was that something that you were?
I'm not aware of
Okay.
that. It's not on the plan. I don't believe it's proposed, but
Okay.
I'm not aware of the wells.
And are you looking, how many tree wells were you looking for? Or-
I don't really know yet, because I don't really know where the property line is. I just know there's a lot of trees within there, and there is some trees that are going to be, that are on my property, that are very close to the property line. So again, when they build up that property, I'm just afraid of, again, the backfill and just, causing those trees to die. So
Well, even his backfill can't come onto your property.
I
Yeah.
understand, but if you, like how
Because I know what you mean. If their backfill fills up the trunk, those roots get suffocated.
Right.
Because now they're deeper than they've ever intended to be. And so that tree will die. So that's his concern, is that your backfill from the mound is going to come down and cover up the trunk and the root system of that tree.
correct.
Which it shouldn't, if that's
Yeah,
on
they're
his
supposed to
property.
have barriers up
Right.
to protect that from happening.
Even that, not the runoff, but the buildup of his buildup shouldn't be on your property. Nothing he does should be on your property. So it shouldn't even touch the trunks of the trees that are on your property. That's what's going to have to happen, is you're going to have to get out there and make sure that the property line is staked out very accurately.
Yeah, because again, with the berm and
Yeah.
the stone, I would think that would also.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to bury that part because of.
Yeah,
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, any other questions from the board?
I don't think so.
Anyone, more questions from residents?
Jeremy Gillespie, 9 Richfield Ave. So I went back and looked at this area before Duncan was put in. And Duncan, when that was put in, they raised the elevation probably 2-3 feet from where it was before. And now we're going to continue to raise the elevation on down the road. So in my experience growing up in an area without any hills, 100 miles between the hills, perfectly flat, that water has to go somewhere. And if we just keep building up and then adding impervious surface, we're gonna have flooding problems, and the flooding problem's gonna happen to the next abutter down the line. And we know that's gonna happen. And you can build all the berms and stuff you want. The water can travel through soil. So that's my only concern, is that we're continuing to add fill and build up while the adjacent properties are at the same elevation.
Okay. Any
Did
other
they address
concerns? Did they address what?
That what he was just talking about.
The drainage, didn't we?
The additional runoff from the streets, from the
Dunkin' Donuts? Dunkin' Donuts is already
Yeah,
come
there's,
before us. and
unfortunately, there's not a
That's
lot.
nothing we can do about that. That has,
It was long before, I think, any of us were on.
Right.
so,
But they, like I say, they're continuing to build up.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he does have a runoff plan for the
Yeah.
water.
We have the storm management plan,
And it's-
which is something in the last couple of years that we've done.
Did
That we
the town
didn't have
have their
before.
engineer company look into that? Just to,
We had a peer
The,
review.
the planning board do something with that?
Yeah, I forget who did the peer review. I don't have that in front of me, which company did the peer review.
Our peer review or planning boards?
Either
Our
one.
review engineer was Brandon, I believe,
Okay.
from Ecosystems, and planning
right,
boards was Pat
Ecosystems.
Brenner from PGB Engineering.
Yeah, so we have had,
My question, California, Cranberry Drive, where water runoff from the south side of Plymouth Street comes underneath and runs through that lot to go to the Cranberry Park, so the natural runoff of the groundwater. When they change all this around, if they happen to run into anything like old stone culverts that were buried 150 years ago, and block that up, is there going to be some recourse for the backup on that? Because if the whole south side of Plymouth Street is flooded up, there's no shape for the water.
It's hard for us to, without,
We don't know what's underneath the ground.
yeah, it's hard for us to know.
I know we're
You know what I
doing
mean? And I don't know what
hypotheticals,
the,
but
I don't know what the recourse is if they uncover something like that, if they've got to maintain it or not. I don't know.
Control, because I asked them about the old ditch, because I believe we talked about this at the last meeting. You weren't here, Kathy, actually. We talked about the old ditch.
oh, yeah.
On the backside that led out to the Morse property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Plymouth County Mosquito Control did answer, Highway and didn't have any records of it. And Plymouth County Mosquito Control, I believe it says they believe it would be, it would cause more damage to try to dig it all up and find it then.
Can just leave it as is.
Yeah, it's the very top letter, the email on top.
Now, when they do this stormwater drainage area, there's actually a stone culvert that runs out right through there. It comes from somewhere. And when right where they're gonna put that stormwater area, they're gonna be disturbing it. So,
yeah. Yeah, again, I don't know. Let's see what they said here.
They'll be monitoring it.
Yeah, well, the stormwater management, we're monitoring it. The wall, the dugout appears to create more issues in the area than benefits. So that's why they feel they should just leave it. Yeah. Okay.
but they're gonna be digging in that area for the stormwater retention, reclamation area.
What? I don't know. Yeah,
We can't predict what's going to happen on South Street when it goes onto his property. Obviously, if something did happen, it will have to be addressed. But I think the highway department and other departments in this town will have to address that, I would think.
Yeah.
The biggest concern is when they do all this development behind O'Reilly's and that side of the street, all that runs right down through there.
Yeah, that runoff now is going to go to the, well, I don't know what the status is of those development's gonna happen down there. Don't they have a plan for that to run off to the golf course at some?
Well, see, that's the thing, it runs down to the golf course and there's nothing there. It stops. It goes underground, under 106, over to the drainage ditch that runs to the pond, down at the Cranberry Park. So when they block that up, all the way over to the country club area, when it rains heavy, you can see that area floods.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
And where does it go where does it go from there? It doesn't run into the pond at the country club. It goes into that culvert under the,
Yeah, I'm not gonna discuss other plans for other projects, but I think they're addressing that.
Yeah.
Like some of it's gonna be used on the golf course and different ponds on the golf course. Some's gonna run different directions,
Yeah.
but that's a whole different project altogether.
I wonder, is there a condition we could put that if they do uncover something, that they have somebody come and take a look at it? Like, who would look at that? Stormwater management?
Look at
Highway?
what the
Like, if they start digging to put in good fill and they come across an old culvert that is not that deep underground, and it's obviously helping the groundwater drain, is that something, I mean, he's right, if they just dig it up and fill it in with good solid fill, well,
What would happen for the back build-up?
it would back up. The
Yeah.
water would no longer drain through there. You know what I mean? And like Mr. Gillespie said, we just start, you're just pushing the problem further down the road. You know what I mean? I know it's hard for us to anticipate. That's what I'm just spitballing
Yeah.
ideas that we can, if problems come up, that we can try to mitigate them.
I think that just happened also over at the Red House, the old farmhouse, when they were putting in the new septics for there. They were digging into a natural waterway behind there, and they had to stop and move some of the stuff they were doing so they wouldn't block that, because that's part of our natural lawns and
Yeah.
mine and the insurance companies' natural waterway through there.
Right.
Okay, so
So
if,
they did find something, and they did stop. I think
Okay.
the town was actually putting in that septic.
so if you come across the culvert while they're doing the project, is there a way to maintain it, or?
Yeah, I would have to talk to the engineers
You want-
of my firm, but I'm sure there is.
We could put that as a condition that if you do
If you,
find the culvert, that you
yeah.
do.
If during construction you uncover anything that has to do with groundwater drainage, if you uncover a natural waterway that's under there, then you'd have to do something to mitigate that,
Yeah.
to help it continue its natural flow.
Okay, so we could just add that to the
Yeah, I was thinking you have to go
conditions.
to the town inspector, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
That'd
it-
be,
Yeah, and again, stormwater management is going to, I assume they maintain it, and are they doing yearly inspections, or?
they clean it out a year.
Yeah, clean it out yearly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other,
No, that was,
did you want to make a motion on this, or do we feel like we're ready to, or?
can we make a motion to approve it with the added conditions?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And what are the exact added conditions?
That upon, during construction, if they uncover anything that has to do with groundwater drainage, an old culvert, a natural waterway, anything that is currently mitigating the stormwater drainage, that they,
That we did know about
we
already.
need to know, right, that
Is it not-
would come and inspect it. Who would come and take a look? Stormwater management? Contact town hall? What action do they need to take?
They could just call
can-
me and I can reach
they-
out to.
Okay.
Yeah, just call Conservation Office and let us know. Okay?
All right, you want to do this motion?
Sure.
Yeah, you could-
I'll make a motion to approve the current plan with
With those
added
additional
conditions of
comments.
having to contact conservation if they uncover any drainage issues, be it old culverts, natural water drainage, or anything of the like.
Okay, and second,
I second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All set.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your
This
input.
is the
Hopefully,
order of conditions.
Contact
That's the
but it's
signature
gotta
page.
stop.
You just-
Yeah, they have to be on.
And that way stormwater management will have to come up, well, one of us can take a look
Listen to
and,
the minutes and I'll add it all in and I'll scan
Yeah,
it
like the town inspector and everything else will
before I do
have
anything.
a bit. Engineering and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be a
And
big
They
to-do.
worded it well.
might
so.
have to get re-engineered if they find something under there, you know, you never know.
Just sign that.
163.
Thank you very much.
This should be the easy one. This one should be the easy one, yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so being 7:40, we'll do the 7:15. 163 Plymouth Street. It's a hearing for an RDA to allow Eversource Energy to provide natural gas service using the open trench method within 100 feet of Monpont Pond. And we have somebody here for that? Hi. Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to convert from oil heat to gas. The house is only about 15 feet from the street line. Doesn't seem like the road's been paved recently, and Eversource seems to think they can do it without issue or disrupting anything that shouldn't be. And I'd like to just get rid of it.
So if you see the near map that I put in there, the street to the pond is actually 104.73. So that part of it's over it, but where the work is being done from the house to the pond is only 50.
55.3.
Thank you. Yeah, he is younger guys than me. So Eversource wanted them to just get conservation's approval.
Okay, and just would want to put silt fence or something.
one question about that, I cannot vote on this matter because conflict of interest with Eversource.
So we might have to put it over to another
We
meeting.
only have two people then.
We have to put
Yeah,
it
you
over
won't
to
have
another
quorum
meeting.
for the vote on this.
He's got to recuse himself.
So we're
I'm
going to
an
have to
employee
put it,
for
we'll have to put it on to the
Yeah.
next meeting. My opinion, though, it should be okay, but we would have to make sure you had silt fencing or something
Yeah, they
to
do put that
protect.
in there.
Yeah, Eversource is.
Okay.
My
well, I
issue
can't-
is, well, you know, they stopped doing it November 15th, so if I don't get them approval
Okay.
now, I'm gonna have no heat
Right.
throughout the winter.
Well, I mean, you can comment, you just can't vote.
Yeah, I can't vote. I can.
But you can comment based on Eversource's
My experience.
normal
with Eversource.
practices.
Well, we need to
I
have
don't know. I'm a union guy, so I don't know.
Oh,
to
a lot
vote,
of things.
okay.
To have a quorum, yeah.
to have quorum, so. Next
But our
meeting is the 19th.
Yeah, is September 19th.
All right.
We'll just make sure we have
to make sure
enough
Kim's there.
people, and we actually have talent things. So what?
I'm just saying, would she have to come
Oh, you
back?
don't have to come back, no.
It's really a simple matter of their signatures, the votes. that-
Yeah, get the-
You need
That third vote,
person.
yeah.
Okay. I thought by like me paying you guys to put this in the newspaper and everything, that you guys would kind of proofread and say,
This
hey,
is
there's
part,
a
well, we
conflict.
can't
He can't
anticipate.
vote.
Yeah.
Well, we have one person
Yeah, the other person couldn't be here.
couldn't
so
be
she
here till
wasn't
we
going to
find
be here
out. We
anyway.
usually have.
Yeah, my concern is like I said, November 15th, they said they stopped, they can't do
Yeah.
any more new ones, so like I literally, they said it takes like 8 to 10 weeks, so I literally won't have heat till the winter if I have to wait like another 2 weeks to get approval. Because I don't have the 8 to 10 weeks buffer to give them.
Unfortunately, we can't unless we can do a meeting before that. I'm not even, we'd have to have checked schedules with everybody. But as of right now, we can't.
You could
I mean, like 2 can't sign off?
just hypothetically, could you have a quick meeting like with enough people for the
That's it,
forum?
if we could get.
Just for this
We could
one
do a quick
matter?
one for this one matter.
Yeah, we could have a meeting just for this one matter. If we can get a hold of the other member to see what day is good for that person, myself and Steve.
Yeah, how long do you have to give? 2 days, is it? To the
2 days, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll work on it, see if we can get a meeting prior to September
I
19th.
appreciate that a
If we
lot.
can,
No,
we
it's
will.
in the
If we can't, worst case, it'll be the 19th. But we will try to do something sooner.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
I'm just trying to look at days that I might be available. We'll talk. It
We'll
might
talk.
be
It could be
available.
a 5-minute.
Yeah, I know, it might be available. There's a couple weekdays it might be available early in the
Could
day.
even do a Zoom, right?
Probably.
If you had to.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
If you can
okay.
get us a Zoom number,
I can check with
do
Caesar
that.
and see, it might be easier to get off.
I can do that every day from 1 to 2.
Okay.
I'm available.
All right. So our
Check with
next,
Caesar.
Okay.
I appreciate that, thank you.
you're welcome. So next one is 20 Home Street, notice of intent, continued hearing, minor modifications to DEP number 171-0549 to construct a retaining wall. Hi.
Joe Libby couldn't make it tonight. He did send in a letter, and these are the plans here.
These are the plans here.
So there is already a notice of intent. They're looking to amend it to add a retaining wall, just like Mr. Burrows at 22 homes.
Okay. And this here is something they've also done, or?
This is the letter from Joe. This is what he's asking. He's asking for a minor modification.
That's the proposed house that was,
order of
that was
conditions.
24, wasn't it?
Reduce the size.
So where's the-
proposed
where's the
dwelling
retaining-
to move it
where's the
14
retaining wall
feet to the
going?
north.
Whatever.
Near
And
the
to
water.
propose, so these are all the modifications?
These are the modifications.
Okay.
He wasn't sure if it was, the board, he was hoping you would consider it as a modification and not a new submission, but it's up to the board.
Okay, and then installing the 110 feet of block wall along the pond edge to prevent further erosion.
He
And,
has the same situation going on as Mr. Burris. You can see the water going
Going
under the
under.
property. Yeah.
And added a seasonal dock that can be removed or not used, and that would be, yeah, that's something we're talking about on another.
Yeah, that's something we're working on. I'm working on with
Separate.
the harbor master. Yeah.
Okay. That'll- So I just wanted to add an amendment to that for those things. When you're you're reducing the size of the dwelling and moving it 14 feet to the north, is that moving it water
Nope, it's just parallel to the water.
parallel?
That's the, oh, I got you. Never mind. Stupid question. It actually is going to be, because this is part of the existing house, right?
I believe so.
So that's going to be gone. You're actually going to be further from the water. It looks like you've got, I don't, it doesn't say on here, it just says existing house, so I don't know if the part that's closest to the water is a dock or a deck or on the existing. See here?
That's something that's been already
See,
done.
existing. That's going to be gone?
It's already gone.
The first time
We got a demo permit. It's already
Okay, so you're actually going to be, you're actually moving yourself 8 feet further from the water from that old junk.
Correct.
So, okay, great.
Correct.
I
yes,
like that.
further back from the water.
So he just wants to add this to the amendment,
Because we
which he
used to have
discussed
10 feet on each.
Yeah,
Yep.
so they just
Now
want
we
to
have
have
with
that.
us.
Okay.
It's eroding the land, and the
About the
water's
wall.
going underneath.
And that's
And so
fine.
the same for John Burris, so he's putting retaining wall as well.
And Joe Webby's doing the retaining wall?
Yes. Joe had some minor day surgery today and couldn't make it.
Okay. And what is the retaining wall going to be? I'll propose
Block wall.
retaining wall.
What was the detail?
It just says 110 feet of block wall along the pond edge. I can get more detail, Joe, if you need it.
Yeah, just,
Unless it's on the plan.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, it just says see detail, doesn't say what page on the plan.
Yeah, it doesn't say what he's actually
Okay.
using. What did he say he was using last?
I don't remember, I wasn't in on that one.
Yeah.
I didn't vote
I
on
think
that
I
other
would just
wall.
want a little bit more detail on the wall. I don't see any issue with it, but I just would want.
Yeah, we want to see what the material is and everything
Yeah.
else, because it is connected to the lake.
And how far down he's gonna
Not
go
here.
to make it stable, like his prep work to make it stable, because that's like on the water.
Yeah.
And I get it, you're losing shoreline. I am too.
I would
It's
probably
'cause of
want
the-
to continue this until
Yeah.
Joe Webby could come just to go over
To get the details.
details.
Yeah.
Right? We can't just,
Unless you know the details.
Well, we kind of know the details. I mean, it's going to be made out of stone, right?
Yes.
But not stone, not rocks. Like stone blocks, the kind that
Rock.
interlock. Yes, who said that? Concrete, yes. Concrete. Probably.
And
Because as I told this man on the end, we used to have 10 feet of beach. We have no feet of beach now. And the water is bouncing up and it's eroding underneath.
I'd say eroding more of the,
Whatever.
Get closer to the house.
It's going across the tree.
Right.
Oh, if you go and look, you see, it's unbelievable
Yeah,
how
it's
one
going
water
to
way
the-
down.
yeah. Why don't we do this, we'll continue to the 19th, if that's okay with you guys?
yeah.
Yes.
we like
And
to-
then
7:20.
at 7:20 on the 19th, and then we'll
More detail.
just
of
have
the
Joe
wall.
here, and then he can give us more details. Okay?
I can check with Joe tomorrow and make sure
Make
he's
sure he can
available for
make
that date and time. All right? I don't know if you want to stay for a few minutes. The next thing on the agenda is actually a complaint that was filed, so.
Okay.
We can,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to continue this.
I put a motion, we continue 20 Home Street to the 19th at 7:20.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I'll take that. Down there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nothing to get that.
Give me a second.
Okay, and we want to keep them out. Let's see, because the next thing is then we have discussions. And the first discussion is 20 Home Street. Complaint by Jeremy Gillespie stated in a complaint that both of the two main streams that feed the Class A public water supply Lake of Monpont are being polluted by sediment, nutrients, minerals, and who knows what else, thanks to activities occurred both on and within 200 feet of these perennial streams. These activities are a violation of local, state, and federal laws.
And these are,
Comment to that?
Yeah,
That's actually not the complaint for 20 Home Street.
that is not,
That was a complaint against another property that you guys are already. My issue with
Yeah, you
what's
can tell
going on and Jeremy Gillespie and 100 Ave, sorry. I mean, we can just look here.
is this about 20 Home Street?
Yes. So, well, the whole little subdivision going in back there.
right here, right?
This is this year. Everybody can look
Yeah.
here.
I've got
This is October of 2020. You see forested, there's houses in here. And as you can see, this is not good for the lake. It's not good for the water quality. It's not good for erosion that's going on. And the reason that erosion is going on is kind of complicated, but one of them is the lake's filling in with sediment.
October 2021. And that's
Yes.
now.
Can we listen to Jeremy? I just
I
need two
apologize.
conversations.
All right, so my comment is this. When I went over there to fish the other day, the house had been demolished. I mean, I understand that has to happen. It's an old house built in the 1800s. And there's a backhoe literally sitting like 3 feet from the lake and a bobcat.
When was this?
A couple weeks ago. And then there's obviously been additional tree removal. I know some of it was because of them moving the septic. But if you look at the bank, it's nothing but stumps, and they're all rotting. And you know what rotting stumps do for erosion? They enhance it because there's no living wood there anymore. It's stumps that are slowly rotting. If you have a living plant or tree, it's going to hold together. So I don't like this idea of throwing retaining walls around Monpont. It's never needed it before. It doesn't need it now. And so we need to stop being so selfish.
What to do something like that?
Please address the committee. Don't talk among yourselves. Just address us.
Yes, please.
We don't want people.
My only opinion is, I understand these renovations are good for the town. They're positive. On 22, 24, it's positive. But they can be done with a lot less impact environmentally than they're being now. We're cutting down trees down the hills. There's no erosion control. I mean, people can do simple things to help prevent erosion, like not chopping down all your trees. Letting the woody plants grow holds the soil together. And another thing, the lake's just going to keep getting higher. So, it's filling in, it's getting higher, it's not draining out. I'm out along the lake, I see what's going on. And I'm telling you, if you look at other people who know what they're doing, as far as erosion control, they'll tell you retaining walls do not work. They build natural retainers, which uses different plants that grow in the water and right next to the edge, and trees. And if you look what they do around the Great Lakes and stuff where they really get wind, that's how they prevent erosion. Another issue you have is these massive walls running around with their ballast filled with water, creating 4, 5, 6 foot waves, crashing up against the shore. It's just a mess.
Yeah, let's stay with the 20 Home Street, though.
My opinion,
For
what
right
we're going to
now,
have
because
happen
we're going to,
is between this retaining wall and this retaining wall, all that's gonna get eaten away, because now all those waves, right? And you're gonna get, this will get eaten away at the end, and this, because we don't have any natural vegetation replanted there. So you're just gonna put up a brick wall, and just like, I don't know, when you put up a gate to block a walkway, what do the kids on the four-wheelers do? They go around it, right? So that's what's gonna happen, the water's gonna go around it. And now you're gonna have just, we're just gonna put a retaining wall off the entire border of the lake eventually? You know what I mean? And I see what he's saying. I mean, looking at this satellite map, who the hell cut all those trees? I mean, if you look at it, it's a vacant lot from 2021 to now.
Okay, let me ask the owners. Go ahead.
We went to the Massachusetts DEP and we came to the town Conservation Committee and we were permitted by both of those and approved by both of those to take down those trees.
How many trees?
They were like, what, a dozen
13,
trees?
14.
The paperwork I saw said 6.
So that was before, wait a minute. So that was before the Conservation Commission?
There was a visit out there by
Yes, before,
conservation.
and we take a picture and bring it, and he take a lot to all home and take a, you know, we did all completely right.
What was the reason for taking them down? Were they deceased?
Rotted.
Rotted, okay.
Rotted completely,
On the inside.
and I take to him way up the hill, me go like this. Very high and rain like that. I mean, anything.
Okay.
Quick question, the Bobcat, there was, he had a couple weeks ago?
The bobcat.
Yeah.
One here, it's far away. What he's saying in the corner, way back here. One
No.
big house, and we cover everything when the house take.
No, but if you're gonna do anything around the lake, you have to get permission for using the
Yeah.
Bobcat.
Okay, so what if that
Near the
leaks
lake.
hydraulic fluid there? What if you had some mistake? That's within a wetland area.
It's not wet in air around here.
Well, we had a demo permit. It was approved.
Did we have silt fencing or anything around the
And
demo?
the house was right up against the water, so the only way to take the house down is to get close. But
Yeah.
there's a silt barrier there.
There is a
There's a
barrier
silt
there.
barrier.
Okay, so you did it correctly
There's a
then.
silt barrier there.
Okay, and that's all we can ask.
We
Yeah.
did all whatever, you know, we come in here, we did everything
Okay.
by right, by town.
Okay, and I know there was a question.
More of a comment, so like I actually abut them and some of those trees have broken and actually come through my roof.
Yeah, the previous house that they demolished had a couple trees actually that we could put
Right.
forward.
We share a lot of property line there, and as this gentleman behind us, next to me rather, said, those stumps were rotted. They didn't rot after you cut the trees down.
They were
They
rotted.
rotted, the trees were already dead. So we're literally being impeded by these dead trees that are already dying.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That's the property.
Yeah.
And look at that.
So we had a tree person come to tell us,
Yeah.
you know, which trees were healthy and which
That's the
trees were
driveway.
not. We are not fans of taking down the trees.
I mean, I've been there since November, so I don't know.
Okay. Hello, Steve.
Hey, that's one discussion I
Hello.
Taken in the same season.
Where's my gavel?
Like there's one picture spring and one's not.
Hi, too many conversations going on at once. So let's continue. Wait 1 minute, go ahead, you can finish.
That was the gist of it, is that
Okay,
I'm a
thank
neighbor, I
you.
can definitely tell, like this gentleman said, the stumps were rotted, you don't cut a tree down, the stump doesn't just rot. Which
Right.
proves that the trees were already dead and super dead
Okay.
and dying and falling. Like I said, we had to do with the roof on our house, which we purchased in November, because we had so many of those large trees actually break and pierce through our roof.
Okay. So, thank you. And as far as you, it looks like the trees that you took down, you came before conservation, they were diseased. You put, you had silt fencing up, or you had some
Yes.
kind of protection for the pond?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so that, I think, are the things that they were talking about in the complaint. Was there anything else? Thank you. What, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Half the tree.
Oh, half the tree
Gone.
is gone.
Inside. That's what I take the stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't, you know, a lot of trees in my area. It's all gathered around a little pond, around everything.
Okay.
And actually, I bring every tree, I take every picture from the beginning. 13, 14 pictures, something like that.
All right, well, thank you. And Jeremy, we definitely appreciate the input that you've given us as far as, you know, retaining walls versus other things, and we can always look into that. Always good to have citizens in the town that
Yeah, and,
are concerned.
I understand
Swear to God,
the
my
trees
God.
fall down. I understand the trees fall down, okay? I understand that. But what's going on back there in that corner is not going to be good for the lake in the long run. And it can be addressed right now by amending the order of conditions and saying replant this many number of trees within, this section of bank here, because this lake has existed for over 10,000 years in a forest. We can't just come and change everything and expect everything to be okay. It's going to cost the taxpayers a lot more money in the long run. And we're already having algae blooms on East Lake right now. And it's just a matter of kind of thinking about the future. That's all I ask.
And this is, we're not doing a vote on this. This is their NOI was being continued, so it's something we could talk about next meeting. But thank you. Thank you. Okay.
I'll show you one thing only, guys.
One thing, then we're going to go on to the next
You
thing.
see underneath the 1, 2, 3. If you go there and look, see how far water going there. From here to there, water going underneath the tree, make a hole, just going and going. Why I'm in a rush of water? Because I know what happened in winter. The water go and freeze up.
Expands.
Expands. But
And actually, I want to meet in John meeting. It's exactly same problem. He have to put retaining wall. Down in the meeting, I'm there saying you have to do retaining wall. I want to protect the property.
Right.
And I want to protect the water go through. And I have other side, other pond, small pond. You know about it. I mean, it's easy to water go in and out between both.
but we'll continue this next meeting, and we'll,
September 19th at 7:20.
And you know,
okay.
please, because the best time now, you know why? Because September, water go down a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I
Sounds
mean?
good. Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next thing on the discussion was Hilda Lane, submitted to planning board, application for approval of definitive plan subdivision modification. Our owner Scott Burgess will be here. Scott Burgess is here today.
See Mr. Burgess.
Okay, at the planning board's, I'm sorry, at the planning board's meeting on 8/3, they agreed unanimously that they would like conservation's commentary on the project.
Prior to their approval. Yep.
Prior to their approval. Did they come before us
The
before?
plan is here, yes. He was here at the last meeting, but we didn't have a quorum.
We didn't have a meeting.
Yes.
So he's going to have to come before us.
That is the plan, yes. And it's just a discussion. He hasn't,
Okay.
it's not a hearing or anything. It's just a
Is he going to
discussion.
come to the next meeting? or-
I
Oh,
thought
it's
he was
just a
coming
discussion.
today. Yeah, I thought he was coming tonight, so.
We didn't.
Okay.
I thought he was coming tonight, so he's not here, so there's nothing for him to
There's
present.
really
I mean,
nothing.
it's going to the planning
Oh,
board.
I'm sorry, if you can just state your name and your
Diane
address.
Bradford, 131 Hayward Street. I'm in butter.
Okay.
Property. It's going to the planning board. We all got certified letters Thursday night. So the fact that he's not here, what's going to happen?
Okay, well, the planning board isn't going to do anything till they get our input and commentary, and I guess we would have liked to have seen Scott Burgess to get his view on it, so I don't know if we're going to be able to give them any commentary without him here, but this is the plan that they're doing. Let's see. Hilda Lane.
Where's her address?
Yeah, this is, what were your concerns on it?
Corner, there's a lot of
Okay.
concerns.
Go ahead.
You
can come up if you want.
I'm really not sure.
And that's you on the corner, Bradford?
Yes.
Okay.
Our street, if you guys have been down there, is flooding constantly. And a little rainfall causes it almost to meet in the middle. Okay? The water levels and everything. I have been told that back here are turtles, box turtles, that I don't know if this new plan's going to bother them. Do you guys ask for the wildlife to come in and check this all out?
We have with all the solar fields. We've had them do a study. on the turtle migration patterns. Remember we had to have the fence that was taller?
Yeah.
Had to have space under the fence
So they can,
so that they can
I know
move
they
freely.
were,
So,
yeah.
I mean, we can have a study done.
These are just little things I'm worried about. So now there's, I don't know, it said that they were going to put 2 new houses, but there's 4. One is the Webbies, which, you know what I mean, we've always known that they were going to have the house if the road went in. It just seems like the drainage here, Honey Nazarella will be at the meeting on Thursday. She gets so much water in her thing already, her yard.
Sorry.
I just think, you know what I mean, I don't want anything he's asking is to go over any of the, you know, vegetation or, you know, it's going to make this area flood more. I'm very nervous about it.
yeah, he was a mess, yeah.
And let alone, that he doesn't want to have a big street, he doesn't want to give us the right berms, he doesn't want to give us a sidewalk he's supposed to give. He has not came through with anything. And I hate to say it, yeah, I won't say what I feel, but I'm good.
It's being recorded on YouTube.
You know, the guy, when he first started, told the Nazarellas if they didn't pay $130,000 to help him with the street, the fire engines wouldn't come down that street if there was a fire in their house. The man's not showing very good judgment. So I don't mind houses being back there. I just want them done properly and not damage the water level any more than it is.
So this here, June 20th, 23, is that when this land was delineated? Hilda Lane Ghost.
He says that
This is the plan that he just dropped off and was going to discuss with you tonight. I
My
pulled the
question-
Hilda Lane files that I had. It was like Brookside previously. I don't know if they're even relevant because nothing went in, nothing was.
And I want to
Can I-
say, was this
Sometimes on another page it'll say
when it was
on
delineated?
some of them. On some of them it'll
Because
say.
I was out there when it was delineated, and it's been several years.
Well, what's it? 3? Is it 3 that it would have to be redelineated? Is it 3?
I'm not sure. I believe
Check with
so.
Brandon.
It doesn't look like it says on the. Usually it'll say it on the key if it's on this particular set of plans.
Have they come before us for,
No, a hearing or
Because-
anything. This is just a
because it's a
discussion.
discussion?
Right.
Because we've already, the wetlands were delineated.
Yes,
At
they
one
were already
point, knowing they were
delineated.
going to put in a subdivision or
Yep.
put in something.
Something.
But I would look into it because it may be that they may have to redelineate it because I think it's been several years.
Well, that'll be something.
And there'd be also a peer review on top of that.
Absolutely, because that's a lot of wetlands back there,
Yeah, so
especially back here.
So I'm going
especially if
to
there's
let planning
turtle-
board that we're not comfortable with.
Turtle habitat back
At this
there,
moment.
right?
you're not comfortable with it.
Correct.
See, and I want to see something with more
Okay, so we'll let
elevations
them
on
know.
it.
No, just make sure you send, we'll always post when the next meeting
yeah,
is
what do you
and
want
what's on
me
the
to
agenda, so
Yeah.
I always encourage people to come to the next
After-
meeting.
Let planning know that, yeah.
When we all go take time off work on Thursday night to come to this meeting.
Yeah, I know that it might not show.
Yeah, I want to
Might
look into the
continue.
wetland line.
It'll-
when
so
it's
many-
delineated.
I would guess it would get continued because we're not going to be able to put any input in.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be
If they want-
discussion when it comes in,
Okay.
so.
Okay,
There's no-
probably in 2 weeks he's gonna show up again.
We thought
We
you guys were
can't,
tonight, so.
yeah, we can't
You can
speak
ask
for
them
him,
to.
so hopefully.
I can send him his email, I'll send him an email and, you know, let him know that we missed him tonight.
We'll see how, yeah.
Anything we're concerned neighbors about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to them as well and see how they feel. It'd be
And
great if they could come.
you want me to check with Brandon about check when it was delineated?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I know, and I think Steve Ives is the one who delineated, because I went out on the property with him.
Steve Vargas. I don't know him.
Ives, I-V-E-S.
IBES? Ibis. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
But it's been-
sizable.
It is.
I think
don't
Mary
know the
Guiney
name,
was,
so-
I think Mary Guiney
When
was
is-
our
And
conservation.
then back in
That's us.
October,
It's been a long
Yeah, it's
time.
been a long time.
Yeah.
one house
Because she hasn't
way
been
out
here in many
there,
years.
and then he never came back because there was too many ifs. The neighbors aren't gonna change what they want, no matter, but now he's asking for even more houses. So I just don't understand. I really don't.
Okay, well, we'll
So he's
we'll
not
pass
here
this
to
on.
help me out?
Right, we'll pass it on to planning board, and we'll also, before they do anything, they're going to have to come before us, and then we'll have questions for them also.
You will. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You've been
Do you want me to ask planning?
I have no idea.
I just tell them, I don't know if we have to
I
ask
know
them
there's-
anything. Just
that's a
tell
big
them
family.
we're not comfortable with the plan. If they wanted our input, that was it. We don't know when
Yeah,
that
no.
wetland line was delineated.
Yeah, it's funny now.
Okay.
So, just for my own edification, so I can try to get in touch with them the best way possible, is that the aunt and uncle of the gentleman who's a selectman, or is this his parents?
I think they're
Cousins?
cousins somewhere.
I want to ask them specifically about Palmer Mill Brook, because that comes out to those wetlands and they're in the butter. I'd like to know,
Yeah, they've had to do some work
I'm sure.
to get it out away from them.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Okay, so are we all set?
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is 7 Old Ocean Ave, renovations and repairs to home. They want to know if it would be an NOI or an RDA. Is somebody here from?
Yes, they were getting a permit from building, and Mr. Solari told him to come and speak with conservation.
Okay.
They're really close to the pond, so he just wanted us to be aware of what
So you want to do repairs and renovations to your home?
Yes.
Okay.
Just bring it all up to code.
Okay.
No alter the foundation, no groundwork.
No groundwork and footprint's the same?
Correct.
So
Okay.
what are you doing at the house? Just,
Bringing it all up to code, the 1800s. So, yeah.
Any fence or anything like that going to be,
I'm sorry?
any fence or stone wall or anything going to be put up near the lake or anything?
I would just say though, if you're doing any, if your home is, how close to the lake is it?
We're on the way.
On the lake? I would think about,
Ocean Ave.
8 feet from the pond.
Is it gonna be-
The closest corner, 9.5 feet.
is there going to be
Yeah,
a
it's very
dumpster?
knit,
Very
small.
close.
Is there going to be a dumpster? Are you going to be storing material there or anything being
Yes,
stored
there'll
on
be a
site?
dumpster.
Okay.
And there will be, I guess, the loads of lumber when they do for building it. But it would,
I would say probably would,
coming right up.
yeah, I would say maybe you would have to come before us and just, I'm not sure if it'd just be an RDA.
Well, for,
But you-
I mean,
in your-
Yeah, with all this
I mean, we
verbiage.
can do whatever it takes
Yeah.
to not have to,
You know,
well, what would keep the lumber away from the
I would
lake?
want probably nothing stored on site. I would want like
Do you
some
have
kind of
any
silt
property?
fencing put
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
protect the water.
If there's a way to,
So the septic is in front. There's the water
Okay.
beach. We can keep it up front. I have a neighbor, well, he has property
how far
up
is it?
on, this here, I think,
80 feet?
at the shortest,
80 feet, and that looks like it's 115. So if he,
115 feet?
yeah, from the lake.
Okay, so
The
if
tip of
you,
his property, if he can store everything up here, because you can't store it here on top of your, you can't store it on top of your
No,
field.
but, I have a neighbor, he has a lot on Route 58. Yeah. right there.
Near that corner lot,
Yes, the open land.
where the house that got knocked down?
Yes, in
Okay.
between that.
Okay,
Yes.
that would be
Yeah.
far enough away if he stored everything there?
yeah,
And if you have a dumpster, it's going to have to be
Right.
here.
Yeah.
And that'll put it 100 feet from the lake.
Right, I do have that.
so probably, yeah, just maybe an RDA.
Just with all the details of all that, yeah.
Yeah. And it should
Okay.
be, yeah.
And probably just in case, because you're going to be renovating all of this, so you're going to be doing demo, you're going to be ripping out insulation, ripping off the
Yeah.
roof and everything, so a silt sock,
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, that's all. in there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now,
And Peggy can help you.
I have
Yeah.
I have your email and
Okay.
everything, so I'll email you the RDA and what you need to send. It's really filling out the RDA, the sketch, and the details of what you're going to do.
okay, and then I just send it to you, or I gotta come back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
So, I was just going to say, so for the filing, it's $75. For the ad, it has to be advertised as a public hearing notice. That's $45. And then you would come back and the board would sign the determination.
Just in case any butters want to be heard, we have to publicly
Okay.
notify.
All right, so you'll send, yeah.
I'll send you
and get
everything
right on
with
that.
the details.
Okay, great,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank
You're welcome. Have a
you.
good night.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one we have is Hemlock Lane landfill repairs needed, question.
Yes, that
RDA
is
required.
The health agent went over with the Ty and Bond, who is our monitoring, contracted monitoring. And there is some erosion out there that needs to be repaired. And they wanted to know if you need them, being the Board of Health, to submit an RDA for you
There.
with the repairs that need to be done.
I mean, I guess it would depend. They should know, but I mean, do we need to monitor what they're using for materials?
This is the scope of the work of the repairs in the area. There's a drainage breach, Halifax landfill drainage breach.
Oh, yeah.
I think I could go out and take a look at it.
Yeah, and I can have Bob fill out the RDA, and at
Yeah.
least it's done correctly, we follow the steps.
Perfect, and then you just have
So
it.
Yeah.
it looks like.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just go out and with Bob and take a look at it.
Okay.
I mean, just what they've put down here looks like it is, up to the way that it needs to be in that area. The description seems fine. I mean, like I said, if you just want to go put eyes on it,
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Okay. Next one was Solitude, Monpont Pond Notice of Intent Extension Request. And I guess they want to request a 3-year extension to the current order of conditions. I'm not sure if we want to do that or if we want to have them refile.
I can tell you that Hanson stated that they are not inclined to
Hanson Conservation Commission?
Yeah, they're not inclined to extend. They want them to resubmit.
Okay.
So just so you have that information.
But, maybe just where they're doing it in Hanson, resubmitting, just continuity.
Maybe this is a good idea. Right, let's have continuity, and then also by resubmission, we'll get an updated materials list.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, resubmit, please.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next one is 285 Home Street, which is the Maverick Designs Furniture Storage. There was a complaint from somebody that the building was being used as a car auto repair store and that there's no floor drain. I guess we've spoken with, the owner has spoken with you.
I've spoken to the owner and his attorney.
And they're not in the area, but they're
The owner is in Vermont, lives in Vermont. He's willing to do whatever he needs to do to accommodate the town. Nobody is in there right now. He bought it in 2020, 2021. The stripping of the land, he said, was already done. Like, that was done before he bought it. He mentioned planning, and the attorney said that they are actually in the process of submitting to planning a change of tenant and a change of occupancy. So with that, planning is going to send them to us anyway, to conservation anyways. That is how they're going to want your commentary. And we can go from there for site visits and everything like that. Bob, if it's like an auto place, Bob would want to go because there's no drains inside.
Right.
And that would need to be done. They stated that they are in the process of having a drain put in on the outside. That was what was asked of them.
And is that within 100 feet of the
He didn't
wetlands?
say.
Because
So
if it was,
I sent an email to Katie Young.
They should have come to us.
Katie Young represents the town's engineering firm to ensure MS4 requirements are followed. So I did send her an email asking her can we hold someone responsible for somebody else's errors if MS4 wasn't followed? And also, can we, if they're doing the new tenant and user, can we go from there?
Yeah.
Just from layman's terms, I'd say yes, we can. I mean, not necessarily fines or anything like that, but just like when you buy a new business or you buy a new house, you want occupancy, you've got to bring it up to code.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't make those mistakes in the past. I'm not saying somebody, like I said, no fines or anything like that, But if he's gonna put a new business in there, he's gonna have to bring it up.
Oh,
to
yeah.
everyone.
Yes,
That's obvious.
that's what he said.
Yeah, I
There's a
think
new
so. I mean-
tenant and new use
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
in,
absolutely,
so
yeah.
they're gonna have to bring everything up, but right
Yeah.
now, he said there's nothing in there. He said his son might go in there, he said.
Some neighbor must have just seen some activity and,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it hasn't been.
because it's not, there's no sign for business or anything, people
No,
just saw.
that's what he said. There's nothing in there right now,
I
but.
drive by it every day, I haven't seen anything in weeks.
Okay.
No activity in weeks. It's right there by the train station.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, so they're just waiting for, to do the change of use. They don't know what, they don't know what it's gonna be yet, but they will be going through planning with that.
All right, but when you said there was someone that was putting in a drain outside,
Yeah,
is that
that's-
something that's happening now, or?
That's what he said, and I can reach
Look
out to
into
him
it.
again and ask him more about that. He said he was gonna look more into it and get back to me, but I can call him and ask him
Find out.
that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, anything else in that one?
No.
No.
23 Richview Ave is, resident believes more conditions should be added to the approved DOA from 2022. That is done deal. You can't add anything after the fact.
Okay.
No. You can always take, lessons learned. If there was something you feel like should have been done, we can always, use that for future things, but you can't change.
Okay.
383 Monpont Street, driveway installation complaint. So that is the owner, you talked to the owner, but then he never came back. Because he was supposed
He
to
came
fill
in.
And after the fact.
Yes, he
That
was,
was the
it's the
driveway.
curved driveway. So he did come in and we talked to him, and I sent him everything the following day to fill out the RDA and everything, and I've sent him a letter.
So maybe that's certified, have you sent a certified?
No, but I can.
Let's send a certified,
Okay.
and if there's no response to that, we can then do a certified with fines.
Okay.
If they don't answer, yeah.
Okay.
Just because.
I know he was.
He was going through
looking into,
he thought whoever was in charge of doing the driveway, they should have got the right permits
Oh,
themselves.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, they did come in, they were pretty
Yeah, he was.
friendly and,
Oh,
not
the
friendly,
owner?
but he told us what was going on.
Yeah, I think the owner assumed that the contractor was
Yeah.
getting all the permitting
So,
Yeah.
and permissions, so.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard back from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, so maybe just.
maybe, yeah, certified, I don't see
Yeah,
going
I'll
down the
just send a
fine
regular
avenue.
letter.
Yeah,
Not
just-
yet. Yeah.
Yeah. just
Do they
give us a
reside in
text.
that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that,
Maybe that's gonna-
Let's see, for our docs, we just, they're still working
yep.
on getting a doc policy.
Yeah,
and
we're
still in progress.
talking about whether we're going to go the dock policy way or
Give it
leave
to the
it to the state.
Okay.
There's pros and cons to both. It does keep the cost down for the residents, but it puts a lot more responsibility on the town, a liability too, on the town. So we're just talking it out.
So in progress.
Yeah.
0 Pine Street, 1 Snow Street. Ed, myself, and Agent Valerie went out there on the 25th.
yeah,
to
it
look.
was a rainy Friday, I remember.
How'd it look?
Very.
That's what Bob said. We got.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's
We were
coming down in
trashed.
buckets.
Oh, I had to work. Sorry, Jim. Yeah, too bad. How was it out there?
Wet. Yeah.
I thought it went pretty well. He
Yeah.
gave us, showed us some old plans.
Yep.
What was there prior and what people didn't know was there. We did take a walk around the bogs. He did show us, was it the pond?
I think one allegation was that he filled in.
No, he did not. That was
Okay,
been there
that he
since the
filled in
50s.
bogs or he filled in canals to old bogs.
Nope, and the water does
Okay.
run through it.
Okay.
And he's actually done his own water test a couple years ago, he said, because he has his wells right there.
Right.
So he doesn't want to obviously have bad water going to his home.
And somebody said there was, I don't even remember who made the initial complaint, that there was a lot of runoff of whatever he was doing right into Stump Creek.
No, what happens is it goes to Lake Street.
Okay.
Bob told us he actually tested the
And
water.
there's a stormwater drain there.
He says he tested the water there and it's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
And
Yeah.
the machines that you're concerned about, they are running machines. They are active. He does pay taxes on them and everything else. It is a non-active bog.
Gotcha.
So he does have to follow the laws with that. But yeah, it was pretty wet there. I didn't take any pictures because it wasn't needed.
No. Yeah, like I said, I had never even looked at it on a satellite photo. The complaints came in and.
Yeah, Mr. Diaz was very helpful and forward and told us
I wish I could find out why he was so reluctant and so obstinate about it all, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Sure, come on up."
Well, I don't.
I mean, I understand it's your own private
Well,
property.
Mr.
but-
Diaz is a lightning rod sometimes, so that's probably why he's hesitant for
Yeah.
random people going onto his property.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you finally got out there and got.
No,
Yeah.
he was great. So
Good.
When Bob was there also, and
Good.
everything was up.
I like when Bob goes on. It's nice.
Yeah,
to have
yeah, no,
that.
it's a
It's
nice-
nice to have that other perspective.
Exactly.
Okay, so next one is 111 Lake Street, and that one was a homeowner within 50 feet of buffer zone pushing piles and clearing into the stream. We've sent 2 letters in June and July, and no response.
No response
So
at
maybe
all.
another certified, see if that can get their attention. 130 Fuller Street, flooding, that's the one that Ed and I went to. We thought that it was the owner's attorney setting it up, and the owners didn't know anything about
No,
it.
this is our second visit to that
It is.
property,
We've been
and
there
nothing's
before,
changed. So I don't see us
It's
going to that property again.
Is that the one you and I went to?
No, it's just
Ed and I
Kathy and I.
went.
Okay.
We've been there a couple times. Nothing's changed.
Okay.
The levels, everything. It's just
Yeah.
it seems like a neighbor-on-neighbor issue. Unless something drastic happens and changes, I don't see us needed to
We
go
need to
there.
go out there again.
Just an FYI, the building department brought in a complaint into the Board of Health, not Conservation, into the Board of Health regarding 130 Fuller Street and the berm. I guess there's a big
There
berm
is a
there, and there's
big
going to plant
berm.
trees
Oh, I
there.
thought he said he was going to take that berm down. It's huge.
I don't recall. I don't. You
Thought
remember?
he said, but maybe not. So
The neighbors, the complaint is saying that he's going to plant trees there, and she's worried that it is on the septic system or on the swale to the septic system. So I do have it on Bob's desk for him to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that is
take care
a-
of tomorrow.
That doesn't
he's
deal
going,
with
is he
us.
going out there tomorrow, or?
He doesn't know it's on his desk yet, but
Oh, okay.
yes,
Okay.
All right.
he'll see it in the morning.
Okay. 413 Plymouth Street is, okay, that was the property, the tenant
Yes.
who's renting the property wanted to pave an area that's yellow and clear an area that's orange. Would that need an RDA or NOI? They want to know. Anybody here for that? Okay.
A renter.
Yes, he's renting it. Do you know where
needs the
right across
permission from
from
the owner.
Rockland Trust Bank, where the
Yes, he has
cars?
it.
He has the cars right on the corner of.
Indian Path Lane?
Yeah, Indian, yes.
Yeah,
So the cars just sit there, he sells the cars, they're just
Yeah.
kind of sit there. That's the property.
I don't,
okay.
I don't see that being approved. But
No.
then, you know, he could
I'd have to
always
get
come
like a
before
real-
us.
There's a river or something that goes through.
So he wants to pave this and
And clear
clear that.
Yes.
Preliminarily, just based on that, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I don't know what's there in the orange. Clear what? Are they trees? Are they bushes? Is it just grass?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
it's.
You know what I mean? If they're-
Exactly what it is.
So,
Yeah.
and the other thing is, we can't give him permission for that. He doesn't own it.
That was my other thought, but.
Yeah. But if the owner wants to
If the
do-
owner wants to come in and ask and do an NOI and all that,
Yeah.
then yeah, but we can't give him permission to do
Yeah.
anything.
But I would say if he wants to file something, he can file it in a while.
So the owner would need to file a notice.
Yeah.
The owner would have to, and just let him know that, you know, preliminarily, we're not inclined to approve it if he wants to pursue it, but
I
he
think you want to put
definitely
more
can.
cars there.
I think
Okay.
probably, I'm sure, but
You got it.
Okay. The next one is the Winnetoxet River. So I guess a tree fell into the river, and there's a volunteer named Daryl Torres who works for other towns associated with the Taunton River Watershed Alliance, and he would be willing to cut a section of that tree out of the water so the kayakers can get by.
oh, is that it's that big? It's
Yeah,
impeding water flow.
Yeah, he says he uses vegetable oil, not motor oil, when he uses the
Oh, that's it.
saw.
There you go. That's the other good I was thinking about. Yeah.
So he just wanted to get our blessing before doing.
Who assumes the
getting our
liability?
approval.
chainsaw, water, kayaks.
I
I don't
know.
want the town to have to rescue this kid.
Well,
He wasn't sure if it was in Middleborough or Halifax, so I said,
Okay.
why don't you check with Tricia Cassidy, Middleborough?
Yeah.
And then he sent me the email, so
It must be in
it must be in.
I mean, I don't have any problem with it.
I don't
Like I said,
have-
as long
yeah.
as he seems
He's just
like
going
he's
to
doing
take
the right
out,
things.
he's only going to take out as much needed
Yeah.
to
Yes.
let kayakers get by.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
fine.
let him know it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank him. 137 Wood Street, Plymouth County Mosquito Control Project, ditch maintenance. They want to, goal is to restore the ditch to its original dimensions in order to provide adequate water flow.
no objection on that.
I don't
No, I
have,
don't think so.
no, that's fine.
They're very good at mosquito control.
Yeah, especially, and they keep really good records, so if it's been a few years and it's gotten overgrown, restoring it back,
Okay.
you know.
And then
Makes
we
sense.
have, well, let's do the bills next. We have, anybody want to put in a motion to pay the bills?
Put in a formal motion to pay the bills.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's do the bills.
This is a long one.
I know.
Well, we started,
We did start,
Well, we did have a lot on the agenda.
we're not going to be doing
and there
it.
was, I was looking at the agenda, I was like, oh. But,
Oh, we had full quorum last time, we half this would be.
yeah, hey, I couldn't do anything, I was
You
sitting on
can't
the
control the
train.
team. Yeah.
I was on the train at 6:40, just leaving the city, so wasn't anything I could do for that. Yeah, we had a tough day at work that day.
Okay, so next thing, we need signatures, 22 Home Street, we need sign that for the
For
denial.
the denial, correct.
Okay.
We'll be in at the next meeting for his new submission, but this is the one that was denied. I apologize, I was not aware that when it was denied, I'm supposed to have an order of conditions signed
Oh,
and
yeah.
then do that too, so
And
I
where
did
is-
speak to Kathy O'Neill. It's on the front page, Kathy. No, I'm lying? Oh my, oh, you know
Yes,
what?
you
I'm
are.
sorry. I did lie, look at, I'm good at it.
You are so good at it, I never knew you would.
There you go.
You probably lie to me all the time. There you go.
My father used to say, "You're a terrible liar, Peggy, and you can't even keep it straight-faced."
I
I can't.
need a smile for a lie. There, okay. And the other one was 314 Plymouth Street, extension permits
Yes,
for order of conditions.
they're coming in next meeting, the 19th, but their order of conditions will have expired by then, so this is the extension.
How long, what are we giving them for an extension?
Let's see, what did he say? Sorry, this is for the
Expired.
0, 312, and 314.
It expires October 4th.
Yep. So even if you extended it, also, okay. He didn't,
You want to extend it for?
What reason does it need the extension for?
Because
this is the multi-use, this is where the auto zone, the,
It's a big project.
yeah,
I say to give them
the
more than.
Starbucks,
6 months or a year?
but just an FYI,
90
they are
days
no
usually?
longer doing the urgent care. It's just Starbucks and
90 days?
Yeah, I would say 90.
90 days.
Okay, we'll give them a 90-day
About a
extension.
They need more. And,
You'll put that in there, 90 days?
so, yes, if you sign, I'll put the 90 days in.
Okay.
And you signed the other one, right?
Yes, those are all signed.
So have him come to that.
Let's see, then we have meeting minutes.
you have to go to each one for the record.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have September 13th, 2022.
I put a motion that way, approve the minutes from September 13th, 2022.
And we know who was there, like,
It should
It'll be on the piece of
on
paper,
the-
Palmer.
Where are the meeting minutes? Sorry.
Do we have a second?
You can tell
Oh,
it's
I
late.
second that motion.
Oh, yeah, we got a second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I just have to know who was there, because you can't vote on it if you weren't there.
Kathy, Ed, Kim, and Steve.
Oh, perfect. So that one's all set. Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is approve the minutes for September 27th.
I'm not
Oh,
finished
not done with
those
that
ones.
one.
Yeah,
So
we'll carry
that
that.
one-
If you can carry that one over
Yeah,
until
so
the
that
next
one we'll
meeting.
do next meeting. March 28th, 2023.
Kim, Ed, and Steve. I'm sorry, Kathy, Ed, and Steve.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll put a motion that we approve the minutes for March 28th, 2023.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And August 1st, 2023, I
So-
wasn't here, so can they
Kathy, you
approve
weren't
it with
here,
a
so
link?
we'll
We'll wait
carry
on
these
that
over.
one. Just that one.
Can I take 22 down?
How's my team doing?
Did you get any pics? Did you?
I gotta get the people.
Okay, and Hilda Lane, that was, we've already talked about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is actually, sorry, was actually sent internally from planning. This is the plan, and they want to know if we have any comments, questions, or concerns, so we do.
We wanted to know, the wetland, we feel like that's going to need to be redelineated because it's been a few years.
What are we talking about?
Hilda Lane.
Hilda Lane.
Planning board also asked us inter-office memo.
Sorry.
Any comments on it?
Yeah.
So you're not inclined, you're not, what did you say? I wrote it down. I just can't find it. You can tell it's getting late.
I said I wanted to see when the wetland line was delineated. I'm sure it was a while back. So I would think that if they come before us, we're going to want to see that line
Yeah, we're gonna ask.
redelineated.
Yeah, we're going to ask at least for them to tell us when, and it's
Mary-
more than likely it's going to need to be redone.
Yeah, Mary Garney was our agent.
Okay, so yeah, it's going to need to be redone. And I would push for a study on if someone has told us, besides tonight, that there are turtles out there, we need to maybe...
No, once he proposes things, we can go down that avenue.
Okay, all right.
One step at a time, don't get
Okay.
too far ahead.
And
So possibly new delineation.
yes.
Yeah, and then when he presents it, you can ask for the study.
Yep, study and reviews.
And then we have, let's see, 25A Street, just approve a road cut for Eversource.
Yes, if you would affirm Kathy's approval of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
then Talent Bank form for open seat. We have, somebody reached out.
somebody did reach out, I'm sorry, and they are interested in the open seat for conservation.
We can invite them to our next meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, ask them a few questions.
Yeah, see if they'd like to come to our next meeting. Yeah.
Oh, she's actually here.
Her name.
Oh, hi.
Is it
Perfect.
No, it's you, Melanie.
Only one. Hi.
But I will come to the next meeting so that.
Well, you did vote on at the beginning of the meeting, you did vote to approve the new
Right,
agenda.
so we can,
If you want to talk to her, you can.
Did you have any questions for us?
I'm taking notes. It looks like there's so much to learn. I did actually, if you are okay, I do have a couple questions.
Sure, please, yes.
So, is the ability to read and understand plans required?
No, but it's extremely helpful.
You can learn as you go.
You can
I
learn
used
as
to
you
work for an
go.
engineering firm
Oh,
a
so-
very long time ago. I used to know how to read plans a
No,
little
no.
bit.
I worked construction for a long time. It comes back to you very
Does
quickly.
it? Okay,
Yes, it does.
because it's so long ago that I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I remember how to do that.
I had no knowledge when I started, so.
Okay, so I can just watch and learn.
Yes.
Just if you're interested. Okay. And then what type of, I'm actually a full-time student right now, so I'm curious what type of training is beneficial, if there were any classes, because I've finished most of my coursework and I can take electives now. So what type of training is beneficial?
I know the Massachusetts MACC offers classes. Could you like
Massachusetts Association
of Conservation Commissioners, and they have a lot of good classes
They have a lot
that
of
you can do.
Yeah, a lot of good information too. Like
Yeah.
you can be a member. They send you a lot of stuff, and good information. Is your email on here, Melanie? Because I can send you a link to their.
It should be, yes.
Okay. I'll send you a link to their page and stuff.
But I did a few of their classes and they were very helpful.
Yeah, Deb used to do the classes too. She liked them too.
I think I have understood this one from watching and listening, but what process do the plans go through before they come to you? Is it mostly planning board that sends them to you for comment, or?
Usually. So the first step is usually the zoning enforcement officer, and he determines yay or nay. And it will go to planning, and planning does like to send it to conservation. So we're trying.
It goes back and forth a lot of times, depends on the situation.
We're trying to develop an easier process. Zoning enforcement, Board of Health, because that's easy. If you can't fit a septic system there, well.
Then there's no need for them to come to us.
Correct. And then conservation, because planning does like conservation's commentary and to know where the wetlands are, the area where they can work in. And then planning and zoning if they need a special permit.
Yeah, a lot of times it goes back and forth too. So planning has an issue and says, oh, we're going to wait for conservation to move on before we give our input on it.
But anything within 100 feet of the wetland line would come before us.
And the good thing is I'm the admin for the Board of Health and Conservation, and Danielle is the new admin for planning and zoning. So now instead of 4 admins, there's 2 of us, and we work well together, and it's good. We learn a lot.
Yeah, because there is a lot of crossover, so it's smoother to have.
Yeah, it's been going well.
Okay. All right, those were my questions.
Where do you live?
And so look, I live on Willow Road now. I just moved here. So I lived in Plymouth for 15 years and 14 years. I moved here last year.
Okay.
Wonderful reference letter from the select, one of the Plymouth selectmen.
Previous year.
Oh, former, sorry, yes.
From your letter, it seemed like you would be a good fit.
I think so.
There was also a letter of recommendation within the email.
Yes.
From Frank Mand, who was on the plan.
Oh, yeah, to whom it may concern, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
No,
and it's just commitment is
just like you have to respect. Oh, sorry. You have to respect people too because it's their property.
Yeah.
You have to understand. It's like we like to do all types of things on people's properties, but it's their choice a lot of times.
Right.
And sometimes it gets a little back and forth. I feel like
at times I've had a bit of an advantage being very new to town. I don't have a lot of personal relationships with people in town, so sometimes it's easy for me to look at it as a business, but then Ed also does help me remind me like, hey, that's somebody's house, that's their house. You know, they care about it as much as you do, even though you don't think so because you're looking at it from a different perspective. So it is helpful to have both sides on the board.
Yeah, but we meet the first and the third Tuesday of every month, so I guess that would be like the commitment that as long as you could make those meetings. Yeah, and then occasionally we'll go out for site visits.
Yeah.
And those are just scheduled as meetings.
Scheduled at the meetings.
Day of the week.
Whatever we're available.
Whatever. Usually we like to do 2 people.
Yeah.
So
and it's whatever 2 are available at that time.
Yeah.
One other question that I just thought of. So how many open positions are there? Is it just one other?
Just one.
Just one. And then we have one opening and then
2 associates. But we haven't had a 5th person at one time.
Yeah, so it's 5 on the board and then 2 associates. Okay. So right now we have 4 members on the board.
Okay,
so,
are the associates like alternates? I'm not familiar.
No, they can be included in discussions. They just can't vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm curious myself, and is that unless one of the other members aren't here and
they can't?
No, they can't. No,
okay.
They have no voting power.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's more of a learning experience.
Okay, all right. Good to know.
And once a spot opens, they usually slide into that.
Take that spot.
Okay. All right. Well,
I
that's
would
smart.
be interested in that if that was something that you needed as well.
I'm more interested in another member.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
we had 5 for like a minute when I first joined.
Yeah, to have quorum is very important.
Meetings.
People set up meetings and occasionally we don't quorum, we're like, oh, sorry, we don't quorum.
Yeah, like-
And it's very,
Yeah. Yeah, if one person, if there's only three of us and one person has to recuse themselves, like, we can't vote.
just like tonight, like.
Yeah.
Right, like if you were on the board tonight, you
That could have
recuse
been-
yourself and there's still three that can vote.
Right.
That can be still voted on, so it makes it much better for the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last meeting, we had to cancel it last second because we didn't have enough.
Yeah, there's obviously a TE and.
Yeah,
Except for one
I
person.
commute on the train every day and I got stuck, so.
Yeah. So are you still interested after
I'm
talking
still
to us?
interested. I
And going
will
to the
have to
meeting?
do a lot of listening and learning and
No, don't.
That's what it's all about?
but I do have, a little bit of understanding, and I was hearing some areas that I think I might have some knowledge and benefits to add to this.
That's great.
So,
That's awesome,
That's good.
yeah. I know now, do we have to have a full board to, or we just have to
No.
Have a quorum, I believe.
have a quorum to, do we vote, or do we just take a recommendation?
Well, we bring the
recommend-
recommendation to the selectmen.
select board.
Selectmen
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
the
the select
decision.
board will make the
But
decision.
we can make a vote on it now to say, okay, we've approved of her.
Yeah.
So once it goes in front of the selectmen, you got unanimous.
Right, then one of us doesn't have to be there to give our word and say, yes, we approve it. They can just take the fact that we
Yes.
approved it at this meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, I can send an email to the select board and ask them to put your recommendation to appoint her as a new conservation.
So, sorry, we don't, what's her full name, so we can
Oh, I'm sorry.
do this.
Melanie.
Melody's the
Let's
president.
see. I'm sorry, I flipped over. How do I do it to Melanie?
I know it.
You do? Are you sure? I don't know where I put it.
My last name is Martin Plant.
Martin.
So Melanie Martin Plant. So I would like,
Martin-Plant.
would someone like to make a,
I'll make a motion to formally approve the application for the open position of Melanie Martin Plant.
I second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we'll send that to the select board, and they'll just have you come to one of their meetings just to talk to you and
Ask you questions.
ask you questions. and-
For about 10 minutes, I think they'll ask you questions.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah, that's all. They just asked me they conferred and then they asked me 3 questions and then they said yes or no.
Yep, and then once they approve that, once they appoint you, you will, before you can vote as a board member, you would need to go to the clerk's office and get sworn in.
Okay.
And do the ethics thing.
Yeah, yeah. so
Online ethics class.
I can, once you're
Takes
you're
5
sworn in,
minutes.
I can
Takes 10
send you all
minutes.
that, yeah, I can do that online.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much for your
You guys should
interest.
stay for the rest of the meeting.
Oh, that's all right.
It's almost done.
I think we're
It's
just,
usually not this long, so.
I know, but I think that,
Well, this was like a double because we didn't have the other meeting.
Yes, this is 2 meetings in one,
yeah,
yes.
I think that is actually the last
I
thing
think
on
that's
our
it.
agenda.
I do have an admin report, really short.
Sure.
The town administrator has asked the departments to go through their municipal records. We're not going to throw away, get rid of anything that's of importance. I did put a copy of conservations in your folder, your file, your binder, of what our record retentions are. Anything, so conservation is for notice of intents and RDAs. Once we receive the certificate of compliance from the registry, and we have that, our records can be, we can send a form out to the state asking if we can destroy those records. Once we get the okay from the state, we keep the certificate of compliance because everything's recorded at the registry of deeds. The notice of intent,
if you have a
the
certificate
order of
of
conditions, right. You can just go to the registry
So-
of deeds.
Is there any way we can keep a hard copy ourselves? Just like one, I know there's many duplicates and there's a bunch of junk. Is there any way just to keep like one copy on the premises so we don't have to go through that?
Have you seen the basement?
No, I have not.
That's why they're doing this.
how about having
I know that.
So much.
But I just like.
That was my thought, is
Yeah.
also to
Can we
ask
just
you
do
is, like, to take in scan the notice, the recorded
Okay,
notice of
scan.
intent, scan the recorded order of conditions, the approved plan, and the certificate of
Yeah, we
compliance.
can just
So
do
as
that.
long as there's a possibility when they do that, there's a backup to that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and again, we can always get them off the registry of deeds.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not gonna be like, oh, getting rid of everything. Silly things like, other inter-office memos. I don't know,
Yeah.
9,000 of them were in that office. We don't, from 1991. We don't need those.
Oh, yeah.
So, things like that, we don't need, but anything of importance would.
Yeah, that was,
be sent to
something
the
was
state.
approved even like, 50 years ago, hypothetically. And say, oh, I think this was approved to have this done.
Yeah.
As long as we have the record of it, hopefully. And
Yes, and I would always, because it's just who I am, I would send the list to the state, get the approval, present it to you.
Okay.
And if you felt there was a property on there that you didn't want destroyed, then we could always keep that one, you know?
Okay, it sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, so I just wanted you to know that's what everybody's doing.
All right.
That's what all the kids are doing now.
quick question: who's going to approve of what's kept and not kept? Like, what's the process of that?
If you look in your binder, we actually have,
I have to look at the binder.
see, these are our,
Oh, public checklist for entering.
these are our conservation's municipal records. So this is like certificate of compliance, retained until recorded in the registry of deeds, certificate of compliance, partial, determination of applicability. That tells you how long we have to retain it.
Oh, okay.
And once that is, a lot of ours is until it's recorded at the registry of
Right.
deeds. So once that is done, again, the notice of intent is recorded by the applicant or the representative. We have them record the order of conditions and then the certificate of compliance. So that will all be there.
And everything's
Where's all
going to
these
be...
gifts? It says a copy of all.
I know, I'm like, gifts.
Who always gift us anything?
But everything's going to be at the registry of deeds.
Yes, that will all be at the registry of deeds, and I'll still scan in a copy. And that is our hope for the future, is to go digital, get everything online and get it out there.
That'd be
so
nice.
that, yes, it will be really
So you
nice.
don't have to sell it.
I'm big on digital. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm anti-hackers.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Our next meeting is September 19th.
Okay.
Okay, motion.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.